Strikes in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Prime Minister chairs a high-power meet on security situation after Pahalgam terror attack. Defence Minister, National Security Advisor, Chief of Defence Staff, Service Chiefs present. Politics plays out over Pahalgam. BJP launches all-out attack on Congress, calls it Lashkar-e-Pakistan. Congress. India bans Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif's X account for spreading fake news on J&K. Delhi Cabinet clears law to regulate school fee amid complaints of arbitrary hikes. CBI probe order in builder bank nexus in Delhi, NCR, Mohali, Allahabad, Mumbai and Kolkata. In the Pegasus spyware row, SC says findings linked to national security won't be disclosed. SC refuses to entertain another 13 petitions challenging constitutional validity of Waqf Amendment Act. Trump signs executive order mandating that truck drivers in America are proficient in English. Sikh advocacy group raises concern. Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberal Party wins Canada's federal elections, capping a stunning turnaround fueled by Donald Trump's threats. The Jammu and Kashmir government has decided to shut down around 48 tourist destinations and trekking trails in the valley, citing security reasons after last week's terror attack on tourists in Pahalgam. The destinations that have been shut down for not having adequate security presence include popular resorts such as Gurez Valley, Verinag, the Bangus Valley and Yusumarg. Officials said that the government decided to close these destinations for the safety of the tourists after last Tuesday's attack in Pahalgam, leaving 25 dead. Tourist destinations that do have adequate security presence remain open, they said. Authorities announced that the law enforcement and paramilitary units will establish checkpoints around these tourist sites, ensuring visitors do not stray beyond specified zones. Gurez, one of the closed destinations, is a valley on the line of control in Bandipora district that had become a hit with tourists over the last decade. There are a number of areas that have been closed now. And Kashmir, which is one of the most favored destinations for Indians and people abroad, many of these areas will not be available to them. My colleague from Kashmir did a ground report from the ground zero where the terror attack had taken place, which was bursting with tourism. Let me play that ground report out first.
हम अभी पहलगाम की उसी भाईसरन घाटी के रास्ते पर है जो कि जिसने एक बड़ा आतंकी हमला देखा, जिसमें करीब हम कहें तो 28 पर्यटकों की जान चली गई, जो कि आज एक सप्ताह गुजरने के बाद भी बंद कर दी गई है। आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से यहाँ पे बंदोबस्त है और यहाँ पे जो है बिल्कुल ये जो है बंद रखा गया है और टूरिस्ट्स के लिए ये घाटी जो है बंद रखी गई है। कुल मिलाकर कहा जा सकता है कि यहाँ पे जो पर्यटक स्थलों में 48 पर्यटक स्थल ऐसे हैं जिनको आज प्रशासन ने टेम्परेरी तौर पर जो है स्थायी तौर पर जो है बंद कर दिया है। और बता दें आपको कि सुरक्षा समीक्षा इन जगहों पर होगी और उसके बाद ही इन जगहों पर जो है पर्यटकों को जो है आने जाने की अनुमति दी जाएगी। 48 जगहों में भाईसरन भी एक जगह है जहाँ पे बता दें आपको कि एक बड़े आतंकी हमले हमले में 28 पर्यटकों की जान चली गई थी। यही वो रास्ता है जो आप देख सकते हैं और यहाँ पे बिल्कुल जो है इसको बंद कर दिया गया है। और कुल मिलाकर कहा जा सकता है कि अभी जो है सिक्योरिटी रिव्यू के बाद ही जो है इसमें जो है सिक्योरिटी रिव्यू होगा और उसके बाद ये बैसरन घाटी भी पर्यटकों के लिए खोलने की संभावना है।
अब अभी ये ऊपर हम लोग को अभी नहीं जाने दिया है VH के ठाव में, वहाँ पे नहीं जाने दिया है अभी। वहाँ पे कुछ सेफ्टी वगैरह चल रही है कि पता नहीं कुछ है, नहीं जाने दिया है।
ऐसा जख्म है जो भरने में काफ़ी वक्त लग जाएगा, खासकर जिन लोगों ने अपनी जान गंवाई है उनकी फैमिली वालों को। बट मैं यही बोलूँगा कि जो भी हुआ दुखद है, बट भारत सरकार ज़रूर से ज़रूर निंदा की जाएगी और कड़ी से कड़ी सजा दी जाए।
On this issue, I am joined by Aditya Rajkal, Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs and National Security, News 9, Rahul Sahai, Chairman, Indian Chambers of Commerce, CMD Sahai Group of Companies, Advocate Farooq Ahmed Ganai, social activist and a Swachhata warrior, and Amit Raina, Kashmiri activist. But first to you, Aditya. Is terrorism prevailing over tourism for the first time?
Well, not the first time. This has happened before, and we've seen the worst in the last 3 decades, Kartikeya. But this time around, the intensity of the attack, the brutality of the attack, the cowardice of the attack is such that it has shaken the conscience of the entire country. This is a time when tourism was flourishing all across the valley. This is a time that record number of tourists were coming not just to Pahalgam, but to Gulmarg, but to Srinagar, to Dudhpatri, to Gurez, to every nook and corner of the Kashmir Valley. An unprecedented level of tourism was being witnessed. And this is what the deep state in Pakistan did not want to tolerate. They did not tolerate the economic activity. They did not tolerate new tourist destinations coming out, virgin valleys around Gurez, Bangus and other places coming up. And they couldn't see this financial prosperity that the local Kashmiri Muslims were enjoying. Pakistan could not enjoy that, and that's why the frustration is out and open in the minds and the faces of the Kashmiri Muslim who see a bleak future, at least for the next couple of years, with tourism completely, almost more than 95% vanishing from their entire kitty. Be it hotels, be it flights, be it bus drivers, cab drivers, shop owners, market owners, they are completely shattered. They had tasted peace. They had tasted peace for the first time in 3 decades. The Naya Kashmir that the government talks about is not just narrative building, it's not just propaganda. It is the peace that the Kashmiri youth had tasted. They finally saw that shutdowns are not happening. They finally saw that schools are not being burnt by the separatists. They finally saw that there is no stone pelting, etc. happening. So this new avatar was there. Aditya, but now that has ended, unfortunately.
Very quickly, before I go to my guests, one question I really need to ask you. The outrage which this country has witnessed, no similar outrage was witnessed when Kashmiri Pandits were attacked.
True.
When their houses were taken away.
Yes.
You're a journalist in your own right, but you're also a victim of a historical bad that has happened in the valley. What has changed in the last 35 years that there is a national outrage because of the killing of 25 tourists, and they were found, located and killed for their religion, but this did not happen in 1990s.
I have been saying this from the day one, from April 22nd and even before that. This attack is not in isolation. This attack is not the first attack on Hindus in the valley. The shock that the entire country is in is understandable, but the entire nation also needs to understand the roots of this conflict, the pan-Islamist agenda of this conflict, the Islamist terrorism that Kashmir has witnessed over the years, and that began with this so-called uprising against the Kashmiri Hindus, the selective targeting by terror groups like JKLF, Hizbul Mujahideen and others. And the Chief Minister at that time, Farooq Abdullah, remained complete silent, mute spectator, ran away to London to play golf. That's a separate story. And imagine in which country the terrorists who were responsible for the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus and the ethnic cleansing, people like Yasin Malik, Betta Karate and others, they are still free in a sense. I mean, for 35 years there are cases against them for killing Kashmiri Pandits, for killing Indian Air Force men, for kidnapping Mufti Muhammad Saeed's daughter Rubia Saeed. In which country will such terror cases be pending for 35 years and there's no action? In US perhaps, or in Israel or other places, Yasin Malik would have been hung. Why not respond to that situation, create that deterrent that if you engage in terrorism in Kashmir, any Kashmiri Muslim engages in terrorism in Kashmir, there will be harsh consequences.
Okay, let me straight away go to Farooq Ahmed Ganai. He joins me. He's a social activist and he's also a Swachhata warrior from the valley. Thank you, sir, for joining me.
Thank you.
You know what happens to the narrative of
good evening.
Kashmir? Because this was very painstakingly built. It was built around commerce, it was built around tourism, it was built around jobs, it was built around infrastructure, it was built around investment. I remember interviewing Mr. Manoj Sinha, I think 3 years ago. He spoke about the investments that are being done. What happens to that? And are tourist sites going to be shut down like this again and again?
Good evening to all. Like Aditya rightly said, all the things he has almost covered up. I think I second all of his assertions he made on the point. I will tell you one thing, that this is the time that when during last 5 years, to me, Kashmir has taken a new birth, where everyone saw the development, where everyone saw the peace, where everyone saw the prosperity, not seeing any school shut, not seeing any stone pelting incident or any untoward incident during the last 5 years, barring few. And the recent one, I believe that it's a black spot on first Kashmiris, and I won't hesitate to when I am watching the panelists on TV channels or the political leaders or other people, they I don't know why they hesitate to name Pakistan. What I believe is that this is all done on behest of Pakistan. Pakistan not being happy to see the Kashmir flourishing, to see the economy of Kashmir booming, to see recently held elections, to see the maximum participation of voters who came out of their homes to cast a vote, and showing, and once again showing the world that the peace has prevailed, showing the world again that after abrogation of 370, things have changed. All negative narratives, those have been pumped or played by the enemy country through the propagandas and all that. I am painful to see the families who lost their lives. I am painful to see I don't have any word because we are ashamed. What happened should have not happened. It's not only this. I believe that my other brothers, those who are on show, like Aditya is there, Raina Saab is there, and one more, and other people are there. This is a shameless act that can never be forbidden. During these years, particularly during the last 5 years, like Aditya said, that Kashmir has changed. And the change in Kashmir, the development and the peace that prevailed during last 5 years, particularly during last 5 years, was not, Pakistan was not happy, and Pakistan is doing these attacks. I won't say that the closure of tourist spots.
I think you made your Mr. Ahmed, you made your point very strongly.
Closure of tourist spots is good for the economy of Kashmir, but at the same time, when you face such a drastic attack recently, it's a government decision, and by the passing day, things will again, people will see, but the scars will remain.
Okay. Mr. Raina, your opening comments, sir.
कि हमने देखी है जन्नत की हकीकत मगर दिल को खुश रखने के लिए गालिब ये ख्याल अच्छा है, and that is exactly what was being fed to us for last 5 years. Probably the only time when I felt very bad, and I always used to be afraid of that my analysis on Kashmir should go wrong. One needs to understand that what has happened at Pahalgam is nothing new. In the last 1 year, we have seen multiple attacks happening on tourists across the state, whether it was at Riyasi, whether it was at the workers at Gagangi, or the couple from Jaipur last year who were attacked and fortunately survived. The brutality of this attack has woken up the entire system. But we have constantly failed to analyze why these incidents keep on happening. Just few months back, I think 6 or 8 months back, you had an election in Jammu and Kashmir. The whole election, especially by the regional parties of Jammu and Kashmir, National Conference, People's independent candidates, was fought on, not on development, was not fought on progress, education, medical health. It was fought on autonomy, plebiscite, statehood, 370. Now, suddenly expecting that Kashmir has changed is surprising for me. We will see these tears today. We will again see this attack happening few months later, unless and until we do not tackle the problem the way it needs to be tackled. Unfortunately, after taking the brave step of abrogating Article 370, we try to tackle the jihad by thinking that it is a problem of corruption in Jammu and Kashmir, it is a problem of misgovernance in Kashmir. Although in last 35 years, I have never seen any protest happening in Kashmir about misgovernance or about employment or about development. It was always a jihad. And nowhere in this world a jihad can be tackled by bringing economic prosperity, the so-called economic prosperity. Because if prosperity was the solution, then we would have not seen jihad in America or Europe or in Australia and other prosperous parts of this world. So addressing that concern is the foremost thing. And secondly, believing that while you have changed your strategy, and the government of India did it effectively, they did to their credit, they did it quite effectively. But they pretended, or they, for some strange reasons, forgot that the enemy will also change its strategy. Okay. And it will come back and hit you. Okay. And that's what Pakistan has been doing for years.
Basically, you are saying that it's going to come back. I mean, let me go to Mr. Sahay. Mr. Sahay, Kashmir is not only about tourism, it's also about business, you know. That's what the government under Prime Minister Modi has been trying to do, get investments to the valley. Like I said, 3 years ago, when I went to the valley, people were saying that, you know, we will have some multi-story buildings there, because in Kashmir, you know, you have houses, you don't have apartment blocks there. Anyone would notice that, because, you know, there is so much of space. Do you think that this has also affected the business mood, sir?
Thank you, Karthikeya. So I would firstly start with this line that the business and trade community of J&K sincerely, they condemn this attack and they are with the victims. And we also we all are with administration and government of J&K and government of India too. And we believe, like you said, we believe that government of India, under the leadership of Honorable Home Minister and Honorable LG J&K, and now our CM Shri Omar Abdullah, they have really done a good job in terms of promoting business and manufacturing in Jammu especially. Like you were mentioning that we were having a very robust industrial incentive scheme for a 28,400 crore package. And, you know, a lot of investments are on ground. So, but I don't think that attack in Pahalgam has really hit the manufacturing side of J&K. So people are still going with the construction of their units, and they are completing the timelines, and very soon they'll be in production. So, but at the same time, I would say that just see the achievement of government, that a lot of people from tourism, from Kashmir are out on streets, and they are saying that no, this is wrong, because they have invested in tourism, and which is very good, and which is a very good achievement of government of India and government of J&K. So we are with them, and we wish that this will revive very soon. And I, like you mentioned about the closure of these destinations, I think that this is temporary measure, and this will again open. They are analyzing the security situation there, and after that they'll open it soon.
let me go across to Lalit Ambardar. Thank you so much, sir, and being patiently waiting for your turn to speak. And after that, I'm going to break a big news from the sources on the meeting that the Prime Minister has taken place, and Aditya will break down for us. But before that, sir, my question to you is that is this going to be a new norm in Kashmir? Generally the tourist sites were never shut. If I'm wrong, you can tell me. I don't recall that 48 sites being shut like that.
I just respect to everybody's sentiment and trust here, especially the optimism about Kashmir and all that. But let me remind everybody, jihad conflict globally anywhere in the world has never ever been vanquished. It's a military problem, you can only vanquish it, you can only contain it. Here you have internal reforms in Islam, like I see a area of hope in Prince Salman of Saudi Arabia. He's trying to do that. I hope he succeeds. But till then, you will have to only contain it. And over a period of time, this jihad has become evolved into a hybrid war. As on today, you have a very robust security grid prevailing in Kashmir. And whenever and wherever the jihad is able to breach it, it's fine. But if there is any intermittent lull, we tend to assume that this is what we have achieved. We have achieved peace. No, it's a strategic lull. They have not taken rest. They have not taken went on a holiday. We are only looking for the next possible opportunity. We are pursuing the.
Sorry, sir. There's a bit of a breaking that has come. There's a breaking that has come. Prime Minister Modi has said कि आतंकवाद को करारा जवाब देना हमारा दृढ़ राष्ट्रीय संकल्प है. प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी से प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने भारतीय सैन्य बलों की पेशेवर क्षमताओं में पूर्ण विश्वास व्यक्त किया है. दिस इज सेड इन दिस मीटिंग. प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने कहा हमारी जवाबी कार्रवाई का तरीका क्या हो, इसके टारगेट्स कौन से हो, इसका समय क्या हो, इस प्रकार के ऑपरेशन निर्णय लेने के लिए सैन्य बलों को खुली छूट है. आदित्य, प्लीज डिकोड दिस फॉर अस. इट्स अ बिग ब्रेकिंग न्यूज दैट हैज कम.
Well, certainly a big development. Prime Minister very openly is standing behind the armed forces. That's the message really coming out of this. And of course, whatever India plans to do will not be revealed in advance. It will happen at a place and time of our choosing. But this is a strong message that Prime Minister is giving after meeting the top brass of the national security apparatus of the country, including the NSA Ajit Doval, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, the Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan, and of course the three service chiefs, including General Upendra Dwivedi, the Chief of the Indian Army. So very strong response that justice will be delivered. There will be a strong response, and we stand with the Indian armed forces in this testing time.
Absolutely. And Prime Minister also said सैन्य बलों की पेशेवर क्षमताओं में पूर्ण विश्वास व्यक्त किया है. So Aditya, my question to you here is very simple. It means revenge will be at the time of our choosing, of our place, of our time, not under public pressure, not because of some people are saying that we want it now. It will happen when our forces decide. I think that's the message Prime Minister has given.
Absolutely.
That we will behave, country will behave in a manner in which the armed forces deem fit for an operation.
Yes, correct? He has mainly said that I completely trust the capability of the Indian Army, of the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. And you won't know what is coming. So certainly the country stands behind when the Prime Minister of the country is saying this very openly after more than an hour-long meeting with the top brass of the security apparatus. Remember, there was nobody else in that room apart from the CDS, the RM, the Raksha Mantri, and of course the three service chiefs. I'm pretty sure that options would be discussed, and if tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. the CCS actually takes place, the Cabinet Committee meeting on security, there will be a final go-ahead given. But again, that does not mean that it will again happen overnight. It can happen anytime. It could happen after 10 days.
You have been saying this, Aditya. You have been saying this, these are the things not decided in TV newsrooms and debates. These are the things decided by the political top brass and the generals there.
Yes, absolutely. I would say that even the political top brass is much later. It is the generals, there is a DGMO, and there is a structure under which, this comes. They actually study the entire pattern. And even if there is no terror attack, the options are always there. There are kinetic operations with the Army, the Air Force and the Navy, always ready, because there is a mapping that is done. There is an architecture that is drawn, And on that storyboard, you have multiple options. According to the internal situation and the external situation, you finally go ahead.
Mr. Raina, what do you make of this big breaking news that is coming in? I'm giving free hand to my forces.
It's a welcome move, and this revenge needs to be of such a ferocity that it also acts as a deterrent for future. Because unfortunately, whatever happening is happening in Kashmir, and we have seen more than 150 attacks in last 30 years. We have lost more than 25,000 civilians in these terror attacks, funded and sponsored by Pakistan. So I think the revenge has to be of such ferocious level that it also it's deterrent, and Pakistan army की अगली बात कुछ करने से पहले ना वो क्या कहते हैं खून सूख जाए when they think of doing something in India and being afraid of that what may happen to them if they do any heinous acts in this part of this world. So I think it's a welcome move, and I am very sure that something will happen. We have immense faith on our Prime Minister, and we know that unlike previous governments which went soft on separatists and on Pakistan, this government is determined to send a message to Pakistan.
Mr. Farooq Ahmed Ganai, you know what is the reason why that this time there was a popular response in the valley against these terrorists? You know, as a journalist, I found it missing earlier. But what turned this time? The people came out and protested, and there was a bandh in Srinagar.
This is what I do acknowledge that people from all walks, political, apolitical, social, there is commerce, and everyone, even students, men and women, came on roads, and they do condemn the recently held attack. But had this been done much in early 90s, then the situation would have been different. But I believe that our security forces, army, Jammu and Kashmir police is enough capable to handle anything. Like Aditya said, that though some security points are need not to be discussed on show, but I believe that what happened, I do condemn, and it is first time we could see political parties on same page. Had these political parties, social activists, and other people across done the same thing in 90s, the situation would have been different. चलिए देर आए दुरुस्त आए, Pakistan will get a befitting reply from
very nicely said. देर आए दुरुस्त आए, लेकिन ठीक जगह. Aditya, you wanted to come in?
I just wanted to come in because I received some information from the J&K government, and this is very crucial, and this needs to shake up the bureaucracy and the national security apparatus also. In the Baisaran Valley, the Baisaran Valley comes under the Pahalgam Development Authority. There was no chief executive officer of the Pahalgam Development Authority for the last 1 month. The body was completely headless. Then how were they functioning? Now I am being told today that Mir Nasrul Hilal Jeri, the JKAS officer, has been transferred and posted as the chief executive officer of the PDA. Now remember, there were reports that came in that J&K government had not reached out to the security forces with a security plan of what was being done, how it was being done, why there was not enough security in that area. So I think there needs to be a massive course correction. Heads need to roll, and this cannot be repeated. It is not just a lackadaisical way of functioning. This is a crisis, and this is actually a crisis, a major security crisis that led to killing of 26 innocents and has impacted not just Jammu and Kashmir but the entire country.
Absolutely. I thank all of you, because now we have to move to the other part of the debate. The other part of the debate is India's preparedness, and we have done our study, and our study shows us that India is much better prepared after the Balakot. There were things we didn't have when the Balakot happened. There are things which we have now which were not with India when the Balakot strike took place. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the perpetrators of Pahalgam attack will be served the harshest response. He has given a completely free run to the forces in a statement that has come out. The warning came on multiple occasions. The warning came also on a day Indian warships showcased their long-range precision strike capabilities during drills in the Arabian Sea. India has significantly enhanced its offensive capability since 2019 Balakot strikes in Pakistan. Let me break this down for you. This brings more options on the table as New Delhi weighs military action to punish Pakistan for its role in Pahalgam terror attack. So what have India done? India has inducted Rafale fighter jets. Second, S-400 air defense missile system has been purchased from the Russians. Third, Barak 8 air defense system has been purchased. We have aircraft carrier operational, INS Vikrant. Fifth, nuclear powered ballistic missile submarine INS Arighat. Sixth, Prachand light combat helicopters. There have been teething issues, but then that's what we have. Seventh, C-295 tactical transport aircraft. They were not available to us in 2014. They were not available to us in 2014. Eighth, new artillery guns. That's the purchase India has made. New range of assault rifles. Since Balakot, India has added a sharp edge to its military arsenal. The capability boost includes unmanned systems, air-to-ground weapons, missiles, rockets, precision munitions, tank ammunition, high-tech surveillance systems, and specialist vehicles. Last November, INS Arighat launched the K-4 missile for the first time, a step towards strengthening the country's nuclear triad. India also tested its first long-range hypersonic missile designed to deliver payloads at ranges greater than 1,500 km. India is developing a new range of weapons and technologies that have propelled it into a select league of countries that include US, Russia, China, UK, Germany and Israel. Now let's look at India's military spending. In 2024, it was 9 times that of Pakistan's expenditure. This is according to a study by a Swedish think tank in Stockholm, which is known as CIPRI. What does it tell us? The top 5 military spenders are the United States, China, Russia, Germany and India. Pakistan is way behind at 29th place. India is in the big league. That's the point I'm trying to make. Pakistan is not in the big league. Yes, there are countries spending more than us, but look at the journey which this country has made, India has made in the last 20 years. Or from 1991 when the reforms happened. Look at the journey, Indian journey. This is the rank of the countries. The United States spent $997 billion. China $314 billion. Russia $149 billion. Germany $88.5 billion. India $86.1 billion. India is in top 5. And Pakistan spends $10.2 billion. It's 29. The position cannot be matched. However, strategic escalation in South Asia often defies rational assumption, anticipation. The challenge lies not merely in retaliating against terrorism with calibrated force, but in mastering the